I started talking about this morning. So this is the ACT bit. So we've heard some great both front of house and service delivery and what do we do differently, and from Jennifer just then about some back of house issues. I mean, it's just as important as the front and back. Hi, Cameron.
Hi, Maria.
I'm just starting, mate, so just hang on for a tick. So Cameron's in San Fran. So what the Queensland Youth Housing Coalition wanted to do was to create a platform where you can come and then talk about your projects, what are you doing. Certainly the services union around the workforce capability is one that Stuart and I, where are you, Stuart? Stuart's gone. But Stuart and I are working on the Under 16 project, which is one that we're working on. We've talked to quite a few around the state as well, just to get the foundational part of this collaboration working. So this is about how you can engage with the Queensland Youth Housing Coalition to either showcase what you're doing or to work with us around key projects. So I might flick over to you, Cameron, and let you talk about the process and kick off.
Excellent. Thanks very much, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'll actually be there a lot more face-to-face in about a month or so. So I'm looking forward to what we're going to do in the ongoing of this process that the Queensland Youth Housing Coalition has started. Excuse me. So we're at the practical end of your day. I'm sure it's been quite a full day. And what we're aiming to do here is give you a way to connect with what's emerging out of each of the regions and connect in a way that you can do it directly. So it's like a self-serve facility. What we wanted to do based off discussions with Maria is we wanted to find a way to bring network champions together where it went beyond the sort of individual organisation and absolute extreme local priorities, where we could find tangible reasons for people to connect and collaborate in this way going forward. And so we've gone through a 3-phase process, and we're just about to enter into the 3rd phase. The first phase is what we call opportunity mapping. Now, I'm sure mapping is not an unfamiliar concept to everyone in the room. What we're talking about in terms of mapping is finding very practical pathways for each of you to actually engage. So it's the identifying the issues and the projects, but then also providing a means for you to take action on that versus it just becoming a report. And so the first phase was to identify the high impact issues and projects across the state with the participants, which we've done and translated that into an opportunity map. The second phase was to put it into the online collaboration environment. And then the 3rd phase is where we're going to be able to support moving this agenda forward. And so I'm going to flick now to the results of the opportunity map, and I'll show you in full screen. Now, I'm hoping this can come through. Can I get a confirmation, Maria, that can be seen? Oh, actually, hang on just one sec.
Yeah, but I'll tell you when we can see it.
Okay.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, fantastic. Now, so it was a very simple process. We sent out a very short questionnaire to people that identified these issues and any particular and projects and any needs within those projects. And the results are displayed on an interactive map, which you will all have access to. And so you can zoom in, and when you get access to this, you'll be able to zoom in and out, move it around, and then more importantly, you can see which ones that you might like to get involved in. What would be, so the Queensland Youth Housing Coalition Blast. This is the central kind of communication environment that has been set up for everyone, and I'm sure we'll send you a link to this afterwards. But on the map, if you just click on that, it opens up the details on the left. so you understand what the focus is. And then up the top here, you can just click this and you'll go straight through to the project on the collaboration platform, and you'll be able to connect with everyone else that's focusing on that. So I encourage each of you, as we go through this, to come back to this map and find out where there's things that you want to get involved in. Now, these orange dots here, they're active projects, and the blue dots are issues that have been highlighted, but a project has not yet been activated yet. And so if you click on one of these, it will give you a bit of the outline, and you can just click on this and go and create it. If any of you want to start one of these, you're most welcome to add to it and set up your own profiles and projects. Now, one of the other interesting things of this is you can isolate the specific issues. So, for example, mental health and housing. If you just hover over that, the rest of the background disappears, and you'll be able to see the direct relationships to each of the challenges. So this one's the Queensland Youth Housing Coalition are driving this. It's associated with upskilling workers because there was a crossover in information about that. And then at the back end here, we've got these sustainable development goals where it's focused on reducing inequalities and industry innovation and infrastructure. So that's the first part of the map. The second part, this is the second map, and you'll notice that all the people are in here now. So you can do the same thing. You can hover over each person and you can see what they're involved in. And again, you could click on this, find out some information about Christine, what she can offer to you in the network. And then, for example, Maria, you can see that she's actually very connected to most of the projects, obviously. If you click on her, you can then click on this and go and connect with her straight away. So it's a self-serve environment. Now, to get to that, and this is moving into phase 2, we've taken all of that information and put it into an online collaboration environment that's specifically designed for decentralized networks to be able to communicate and collaborate around high impact issues. You'll note that the Sustainable Development Goals were mentioned.
I'm just going to jump in there for a minute, Cameron. Cameron.
Sorry?
Cameron, hang on. So that was a lot of big words there, wasn't there? And we're all like, what's he talking about? So basically what Cameron's saying is that, for example, can you go back one slide, please, Cameron? Jumping ahead too fast for us. So, for example, what it basically means is that if we do a project, we identify a project. Let's hypothetically say one of the rental grant project, which is about which is your project, but it's about the rental grant and making it more accessible. So what we can do is we can say to people across Queensland, is this an issue for you, and do you want to come and join us in that issue? And you can join in and we can all play in that space. And then there's a whole project that then kicks on from that. The other thing is that because of the nature of this Zoom technology, if you're in Mount Isa or if you're in wherever you are in Queensland, you don't need to physically get everybody together. It doesn't take a lot of time out of your day either. We can do it basically through the technology, and then we just drive the project that way. So we all agree, what do we want to do? Very focused piece of work. What do we want to do? How do we want to do it? Are we going to progress it? It has a time frame. The second part that's important about this is that these projects that we'll identify are also weaved into the Homeless Compact. So part of us talking with Natasha and Adam and people in the department is to say, you know, we need to look at, part of the compact is looking at what are some of the service offerings we need to have for young people. So some of that stuff we talked about this morning. And so it's about, okay, well, how are we going to identify them? So it's up to you to come and either talk to me, we can put it up there, we can see who else is interested and really drive a project that way. And that way what you start to do is you start to have a bit of that bottom up. what's going on in the community that we want to do, and have an engagement with government about what they want to do. And that is the nature of the strategic alliance between the Queensland Youth Housing Coalition and the Department of Housing and Public Works, and it makes it real. So, you know, and that's, for me, the act bit, which I said we can think and we can listen, but we need to act. This is the act. And this is what you can do. The other thing that this platform enables is that it's not necessarily about everything that the coalition does. You can put your project up there, maybe in blue, but it could be a project that you want to do. So this is about saying, if I see an issue around YARS, which I know a Central Queensland person is interested in having a conversation about, you know, then you can put that up yourself, and I don't need to do it if that's something. But we can then see, because if somebody else in Longreach wants to talk about YARS because they don't have it, or if they're in Stanthorpe and they want to talk about it, you're not duplicating. The other thing about this is we can start to show what people are doing around the state and not having a lot of duplication. Because what I'm really worried about is, as I talk to you all, you've all got similar issues, you're all doing the same thing in all your own regions. There's a lot of energy going in, but some of the stuff that you need to do is about policy change. So if you're all doing the same thing, so you hop on here and go, well, crap, I think the rental grant's something, and I've been banging on about it in my local area office as well. Well, there you go. We've already got something. Contact us, we can have a chat. Do we want to bring it up? For the Queensland Youth Housing Coalition, we will talk every 6 months to the Department of Housing about our work plan and our collective priorities. So it's also the department's priorities as well as sector's priorities. What do we think are the important things that we want to take forward? And then we can put them forward, and you'll see them up here. They'll probably go orange. So just so that you understand. The other thing is you can also touch base. Again, I come back to this morning about everybody knows me, but everybody doesn't know everybody else. And in this way, if you're passionate about something, when you click on a person, you can connect to other people. You don't need the conduit of the Queensland Youth Housing Coalition to see Hayley or Danita, Buddy out west, you know, that sort of thing, so that you can make those connections and you can say, hi, I'm in this region, it's great, what have you been doing? I'd love to have that conversation with you. You're not having the limitation of having to be filtered through the coalition head office, if you like. Sorry, Cameron, I just needed to pop that in.
No, you feel free to jump in whenever you're ready. Okay, so perhaps I can show the collaboration environment, but if there are any particular questions so far, I'm happy to pause.
I think the thing for me is the human rights one that came up. We can create an environment here, that's the human rights one about the case studies. That's really inspired me this morning. I thought I would chuck that one up. I think the workforce capability that Jennifer just talked about is already probably there somewhere. But for me, that was the big one. I reckon I'll pop that one up there so that we might look at who's done a case study, so you can use their template or whatever they've done in order to document the case study and get some momentum, and we can have a holding space too. So the other thing is it's not limited. You know, anybody can access this as well. So you can see what everybody else is doing. Again, all the knowledge is not held internally by the Queensland Youth Housing Coalition on its own computer. You know, this is your collective information. So I was thinking we might pop that one up. So, yeah, this morning, Cameron, we had a great session on, you know, the Human Rights Act in Queensland, and that can be another. Oh, well, there, housing as a human right is one there. So we'll probably activate that one. Yeah.
And just to mention there, Maria, as an example of how this can create a sort of compounding effect. So one of the people in the room, I believe, would have put housing as a human right as a high impact issue. And then we've related these other three issues to this, and then back to the SDGs as well. And so what happens there is that rather than just sort of going for housing as human right, you can then pull in the collective sort of the projects and issues and energy and resources that are coming in underneath that and related.
Yep.
And that just starts to form. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, I've actually been given the nod because we've run out of time, I think.
Okay. I'll just do a very quick then.
Okay, quick log
Okay,
in.
so everyone, this is the front page of the website. When you get to this page, it's ubegin.com, ubegin.com. Type in QYHC Blast in the search at the top. You'll see it come up. Just click on that. You'll end up on this page. Now, this is a collaboration environment. Just click this join button here. You'll be asked to just create a free account, a free profile, answer a few questions, and then you'll be inside. Now, once you're inside the collaboration environment, you'll be able to see all the different collaborators and reach out to them directly. Oh, hang on. Yep. So everyone's already in here and you can just click this button. There's a chat facility, so you can just send a message to anyone in the room. That mapping that we're talking about, if you go into the related projects section, you just click this view mapping results here and the mapping results will turn up underneath here. They just take a moment to load, but they'll turn up under there. There's a little user guide there. In terms of where we move into phase 3, Maria and I are just finalising the resources for us to move this forward over the next 3 to 6 months based on the findings in the mapping. And I expect within the next week or so, we'll be sending out a schedule for future webinars and ways to connect around these issues.
Yeah.
That's probably the short version. Maria, is there anything else you want me to add?
No, I think we've run out of time. Thank you, Cameron, for joining us all the way from San Fran.
Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you very much, all. Goodbye.
Thank you. All right, Maria.